Okay, now very important point. This is very important point. This is the key to understanding many issues in the Quran. And if you misunderstand it, of course, then you don't understand many things properly. Equality of essence is always eternal. Because equality of essence is only depending on God and it's eternal. Equality of action depends on a relation which has two sides. One is God, one is the creature of God. When does this relation exist? When there is a relation between something which is timeless and something which has timing. When does that relation exist? One side is timeless, another side has time. The relation also has time. Okay? Because the relation can be there only when both sides are there. And because one side is limited, so this relation is limited. Not because God is limited, because the other side is limited. Okay? For example, although God is always there, but I can say, God today created this child. Say, God today created this child? God has no time. Why you say God created this child today? God has no time. We say, we know that God has no time, but this creatorship of God has two sides. We can only say God has created this child when the child is created, and this child was not created yesterday. So God has created this child today. Okay, do you understand? So this is the way that sometimes in the Quran or in Hadith, you find something is attributed to God in a time, although God has no time. That is a quality of action. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran sometimes says that عَلِمَ أَن سَيَكُونُ مِنْكُمْ مَرْضَى. God knew that some of you would be ill, so you would not be able to carry out the responsibility. Okay? You can think of this alima as a quality of essence, then it would be known to God from eternity. But you can think of this alima as a quality of action, therefore it comes to realization when actually someone becomes ill. Okay? When someone is ill, then it is known to God. Was it known to God before he became ill? We say if you are talking about essential knowledge of God, yes, it was always known to God. But if you are talking about the actual knowledge of God as a sifat fi'l, when this person was not ill, so he was known not to be ill. So it's impossible to be known that he is ill. And when he becomes ill, it's known that he is ill. When God gives you rizq today, it means that today he is your razzaq. If you didn't exist yesterday or the day before yesterday, then God was not razzaq with respect to you. So you have to be very careful about this issue. This is not a matter of limiting God. This is a matter of a limited action which is attributed to God. So although God has no limit, okay, this is a very important point. God has no space, no time. But among the creatures of God, many of them have time and space. Because the divine grace, when it comes to these limited beings, it comes in certain time and space conditions. Think about it, study about it. Inshallah, we continue next week. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.